on minimum wage. Labor mobilizes for strike action. The NLC and TUC leadership have insisted that mobilization for strike action continues despite the ongoing talks with the federal government. NLC Deputy President Amechi Asogwini stated that Labour will only back down if a consensus is reached at the joint negotiating meeting with the government today. We believe we've done beyond the expectation, so what is needed of government is to reciprocate in doing what is needful in appreciating their workers. We're talking about compensation, salary, and today's meeting is truly the benchmark for action. But mobilization continues. Labor mobilization continues until what's decided at the meeting, so says Amechi. All right, gentlemen. Here we are again. We're still on this minimum wage issue. All right.
I read one news concerning Liberia. All the parliamentarians in Liberia have cut down their salary now, maybe by half. I don't know. Just because they want to help their country. What's the salary of our senators, of our House of Reps, even our so-called councillors? Labour is asking just for 30,000 naira. That is not even enough to feed them out. Look at what has been happening now. Do you know the federal government is not an acquisition? They are now planning for another labor organization. So that
another faction
again. Because Ingege said it that maybe
the application has been
so they are trying to break their back. What the government is doing in Nigeria is sad. It's so sad. That is why most people who are embezzling money once they have the opportunity. That is why they are doing it. Because they know as soon as they leave this job, there won't be anything for them to fall back on. So when they see that chance, they grab it. They siphon as much as they could. If your salary, although no salary can be enough all over the world, but if not only the salary, the condition of service, repair, make sure the hospitals are well funded, are well equipped. Make sure the schools, as we are talking, make sure the schools are okay. Transportation, let it be okay at cheaper rate. People will not be agitating much. But when all these things are not on ground, that's why Labour. I don't think that 30,000 should have been even left till this moment since last year.
Okay.
Government is not doing the right thing.
All right, Prince Chilaka.
Government. I don't blame the government. Because to be sincere with you, we do not have labor. Rather than focus on talking about thugs bombarding Adam Soshimole's house, I was expecting that Adam Soshimole would have been in the forefront of coming to fight for labor. Because as an ex-comrade, that is what it takes to be a statesman. Not all this infighting that is going on. I said it here before that gone are the days when we had a labor congress in this country. You're demanding for increment and you're looking at 30,000 from 18,000, I mean, to 30,000. This is how many months? Like you said, how much? I keep asking, and until these questions are answered, we will be going around in circles. How much is the pay of a governor in this country? How much does a senator earn? How much does a member of the House, down to councillor, how much do they earn? Nobody knows. Until we sit down and define how much they earn, then we will not decide how much an average Nigerian worker should earn. Because we're talking about 30,000 naira, government is already increasing, tinkling with VAT. Banks are adding their own charges here and there. So at the end of the day, you rob Peter to pay Paul. Now, I don't understand why 30,000 has become an issue in this country. When commissioners go home with their monthly salaries, the workers don't get paid, pensioners don't get paid. And when it is time for election, the unfortunate thing is that these same people who call themselves the workforce, who's having old salaries in arrears in some months, in some states, will still be the same ones that will come to campaign for the same man who has held them down in bondage.
Okay, let me hear from Chooks quickly before we take this break.
You know, because if I'm going to talk about this, we might spend the whole of the day talking about it. But I'll try to edit myself. Number one is that it took the words from my mouth. Sometimes labor themselves don't even know what to ask for. They can pay you 50,000 naira minimum wage. By the time before you get home, 30 is gone. Either for transportation, having to jump Okada instead of normal bus, having to go with the commercial riders that charge 1,000 for a drop. That's exactly what is. The labor does not understand what to ask for. That's number one. Secondly, is that some of this salary that we are talking about, their own salary, including those who are supposed to be inspecting those private schools to be sure they are up to standards, they are the ones that governor will pay salary for doing nothing. So you see, it's a complex issue. I think we need to have a reform with our civil service and all that, and be able to keep offices that are useful to us. We have set up so many parastatals and the government that don't do anything. So sometimes paying them money, government is reluctant because they know I'm paying you salary to be this, but I have a contractor who is actually doing the job that I'm also paying. So how do I even pay you? So these are the issues. Okay. Then coming back to the real issues about paying workers' salary. You know, sometimes those in government, like I said before, they don't know how to take advantage of the situation. I think with the way this thing has lingered, the president himself should invite labor and speak to them. It's not about sending in Gigi. No. I want to see them. Come and sit down with me. He did it once. He should be able to do it again, but not with labor. He did it with the contractors. When he came, the contractors said they were not going to handle any project in Nigeria because of the amount of money being owed to them. And he said, okay, I want to meet all the contractors. Just come and see. What is the issue? They were able to wriggle out of it. When the president gives you his words, it's different from when some politicians who is trying to show that he knows what he's doing, that he's on the side of government. You cannot get anything out of it. It is high time the president sat down with these people. He should invite them and say, look, this is it. And that's why I give credit to the man in Kaduna State. We are here arguing. He has started paying 30,000. We will still accuse him of being a religious fanatic. He's with it. But he's getting the job done. I don't care.